Oh, fight.
Yes, it's on before the game even starts here. With Michael Martin down there getting involved with David Schwartz. So that'll be a pairing well worth watching during the day. The umpire bounces the ball in the centre. North Melbourne going left to right after Carey won the toss. Roberts the first kick. Bell gets it out of the middle, clears the centre square. The punch from behind's disciplined. A hurried kick by shoulder full forward. Punch down to the front. McKernan feeds off and, well, Pike ducked the tackle and got the goal. Great start for the Kangaroos with a goal in the first 28 seconds.
Yes, and importantly, the two named players of this side, McKernan and of course Carey, got involved. Scholl at the base was a pretty smart bit of roving there. I think it was by Scott. And there's, speaking of rovers, the biggest rover in the competition, Corey McKernan, coming up with it. A nice handball there, and Pike did pretty well, Martin, to finish off with a goal under some pressure.
So Martin Pike, certainly not known. Well, he was a goal kicker when he played at Melbourne. He kicked a number of goals there. Steins beaten by Roberts. Todd Viney a little bit high, I would think. And it will come back to this tough little ruck rover.
Come tennis player.
Well, he was a very good tennis player. Up towards full forward. Over the back with Schwartz. Free kick against Schwartz. And we'll go to Mick Martin. Racing away with Wayne Schwash. Beautiful kick, finds Mellington. So Mellington drives in towards half forward. The ball holding up. Kick forward by Rock. This is Newton going in after it. Bumped away by Scott. Still Scott going in hard after the ball. Seacamp is there. Kicked away by Bell. Seacamp butters up again. Peter Bell's caught. He was looking for Scott. Given away by Scholl. Back to Rock. Rock puts it up in front of goal. Carey waits underneath it. Can't take the mark. Again, he didn't put his hands up for that one. Tried to mark it on his chest. There'll be a bounce in front of the North Melbourne goal.
And when these two players untangle themselves, you'll find that Glenn Lovett is being tagged there by Robert Scott.
Steins goes in against McKernan, who's playing at centre half forward, did the rucking then. And they're going to, Bell gets it out to Rock. Snapped by Rock was offline and through for a minor score. So the Kangaroos have started well. McKernan at centre half forward, Carey at full forward, and Mark Roberts starting on the ball, and he's done pretty well in the opening two centre bounces. Phoebe to bring it in for the D's.
So Steve Phoebe, as we can see that pattern, they can go to any number of options here with that short kick. This is Seacamp. On to Anthony Ingerson. He'll have a big task in defence today. Beautiful kick too. Up it comes to David Neitz. Neitz, reading it well. Oh, he's dropped it, Mickey Martin. Sean Charles off the ground. He dropped an absolute sitter. I think, Gerard, he was off before he took the mark.
Yes, unlike the experienced fullback for North Melbourne, Mick Martin generally swallows that one, and we'll have another look at that. You see there, he just takes it on the chest. He's expecting just to continue on, and there it was.
Newton goes up in ruck, comes down to Viney. There are going to be a lot of these contests today. If the opening 3.5 minutes is any indication, there's not much room to move. So for this ball up, a lot of players around. Bit of shouldering going on. Clarkson and Rock.
And interesting, Drew, that Mark Roberts is dragging Jim Steins well away from the contest. He's now standing in the centre of the ground. The contest is on the half-forward flank in front of the Great Southern Stand. And there's Jimmy Steins. He is some 70 metres away from the contest, despite the fact that the angle doesn't quite show it there.
Clean possession, Longmire. Hurried kick up to the wing, but floating over the boundary line and out of bounds.
So Stephen Phoebe to bring this ball back. He's right on centre wing. Been a good, reliable player for a number of years, Phoebe. Newton is the flyer in front. One-handed attempt. Rock gives it up to Pike. Pike across goal. This could be dangerous. The bounce very important here. Strong tackle by Andrew Obst. Mickey Martin back after it, and still in now. It rolls over the line. Deep down there. in the forward pocket for Melbourne. There's the big muscular framer, Mickey Martin.
What about that kick, Pete? Was that dangerous?
Oh, it had bounced the wrong way. It would have been a goal. Well done by Newton. Tried to grab it out of the ruck contest. Here's Peter Bell. He went without it. Socket off the ground for Melbourne by Darren O'Brien. Here's Hopgood. Back it comes to Brett Lovett. O'Brien again swings onto the left. An ordinary kick. Charles, hit hip and shoulder. Very fair, but he kept his eye on the ball. Good play by Sean Charles.
And a congested Melbourne forward line, no doubt caused by North Melbourne only having 2 players, their own players, forward of the centre line. So, in fact, we have got a host of players of both sides just congregating in and around the ball. And it really is going to be difficult for them, Melbourne, to orchestrate some sort of forward structure here that gets some space.
Bounced by umpire Wen. O'Brien had a bit of it in the first few minutes. Charles got out a good hand pass. McDonald goes back. Clarkson, centering kick, 35 metres out. Oh, Sean Smith! Magnificent mark! But don't tell me he's hurt himself again. Oh, this player who spends most of his career in the stratosphere and the rest of it injured.
Yes, I was just having a look at a couple of photos of Sean Smith. They adorn the walls of the museum here at the MCG, and he is just one of those players that comes along every now and again that can do the freakish. You see there he's got a bandage on his left forearm as a result of a previous injury. He's had breaks in just about every bone in his body. That usually happens when you fall off 2-storey buildings regularly.
Right in front, Smith for the Demons' first score, but he sprays it right and barely brings up a minor score.
He probably got a little bit too close to the man on the mark there. But it was an important time for Melbourne to start to get some forward structure going, as we have another look at a great mark and a great leap and a great fall.
David King brings this ball in. Melbourne players everywhere here. Then Sean Smith gives it back. This is Phoebe. We've got a number of loose players up forward. Here's Alistair Clarkson. Bring it in towards the goal square. The pack flies. Mickey Martin over the back. Off the ground by Schwartz. No. He couldn't get his boot to it. That was rotten luck. And it's forced through for a behind for the Demons.
Well, it was all timing, wasn't it? I think David Schwartz thought it was going to roll quickly through, as they often do when they bounce like that. But in fact, he didn't quite get it, and David King gets the resultant kick away from a behind.
Great desperation by Schwartz. Oh, poor kick by King, marked by Obst. Now, it's knocked out of his arms by Longmire. The Melbourne fans want 50, which would have made it a certain goal, but the 50 not applied.
And North Melbourne have literally 5 free players just taking up a zone defensive situation to this kick in from Obst.
Obst down to the forward pocket. Newton! Good mark, son.
Well, if coaches start doing that in future years, if that's going to become the tactic on the back, we're going to see some boring forward play in years to come. And that's all I can say.
Or maybe some inventive forward play, Peter. Maybe we'll have the likes of a Ben Graham coming forward and taking shots from 60 metres out like a gridiron kicker.
Well, Anthony McDonald limping off for the Demons as Lee Newton lines up for goal to see if he can get the Demons first. Well, he's hooked it. And a behind. So they've started with 3 behinds, 2 shots for goal and 1 rushed. McDonald only lasted 8.5 minutes and off he goes. Looks as though it could be a thigh injury.
Yes, and limping fairly severely there. There's Dasher. David King with a booming kick to the centre of the ground. Mellington flew. Here's Allison. He gives it off to Roberts. Out here is Robert Scott. Back to Roberts. He kicks it down the direction of Scholl. Well played by Ingerson. But he's knocked it straight in the hands of Robert Scott, and the former Geelong Rover brings it in front of goal. Strong play down for the Demons. Glenn Lovett goes in after it. And Peter Bell appealing for holding the ball. The umpire having none of that.
And good play there by Andrew Obst just to spoil that potential mark by Anthony Stevens. And isn't it fantastic to see British Bulldog coming back into AFL football with David King charging through the middle of the ground?
He's good to watch, isn't he, King?
Fantastic.
Phoebe just got a toe to the ball. Jimmy Steins has got nowhere to move. Chance to say, well played, Jim. Today marks 10 years in the AFL without missing a game. That is phenomenal.
Hard to believe. He's obviously played with heaps of injuries.
Well, neither ruckman touched it. Clarkson with Rock. Roberts playing in the ruck and doing well. Cross goal. Mellington. No, play on. Whipped away by Obst. Brett Lovett.
Oh, lovely hand pass too. Paul Hopgood coming past the Melbourne members who are roaring with delight. Oh, he ran too far. Oh, he should have had another bounce. He thought about it, and he did. He ran about 25 metres then without bouncing it. So a bad mistake by Paul Hopgood. Scholl in towards half by McKernan is the flyer. No mark. Bell goes in after it. So did Seacamp. And running it over the line is Anthony Ingerson, who was a good, solid player, formerly of the Adelaide Crows, of course.
And an interesting matchup in that Brett Lovett is picking up Mellington. We'll just keep our eye on that one. Mellington clearly an advantage in the air.
Oh, charging in as Ingerson gets in a hand pass. Todd Miney, Brett Lovett, those two have combined over the years numerous times. Gee, Sean Smith's playing well. He's in the centre of the ground. He chips it towards half forward. The kick has to be accurate, and it is. This is Shane Woden. He's at half forward. They need to take it down and score a goal. They've had a lot of the play. A low trajectory drop punt. Oh, Schwartz! No, couldn't quite hang on to it. And it'll be taken away by Archer.
Good to see Glenn Archer back this week after missing last week, out suspended. Roberts running Steins around pretty well. Up to centre wing, Mellington and Brett Lovett. Down goes Bell, the Demons have it. Phoebe to Hopgood. Smith making a contest. Charles overruns, King.
Go Bulldog.
King and Charles sounds like a spaniel. Anthony Stevens, oh, look at the spaces out here. Fantastic chance for North here with Simpson. To Kerry.
It's a great move there by North Melbourne. Started with David King, who, as he does so often, just instead of going wide, he just turned on his heels and went straight up the middle of the ground. And that then saw the ball get transferred forward, and Wayne Carey just losing Ingerson on the turn, and a smart kick to Carey into space, and he'll mop up and should kick his first goal.
Wayne Carey coming back after the shoulder injury. 30 metres out, gets the goal. Well, North looking pretty ominous, but it is 3 scoring shots each.
Well, really the only difference between the two sides, Drew, is that North Melbourne have converted there from their opportunities. I would have thought in the last 5 minutes Melbourne have had the ball inside their forward 50 on 3 or 4 separate occasions, but Peter McKenna, they're just breaking down with that kick from about 60 metres out towards another option up forward.
And it does seem to be a lot more crowded on the Melbourne forward line. There's a big job for Anthony Ingerson, giving away a couple of centimetres there. 10 points the margin in favour of North. Steins jumps early. McKernan wins it with 2 hands. Todd Miney gets another possession. This is Schwass. Kicked it off the ground out to the boundary line. Didn't muck around because Sean Charles was bearing down on him. Wayne Schoss, a vital player when in form, Gerard, for North.
Well, he's been a top player for North Melbourne over a decade now, Pete, and he's found a new niche for himself across that half-back line, played in the premiership there and did pretty well.
Oh, that was beautifully done by Charles. He really is exciting, but that is the difference in the sides. A very, very poor kick straight to Adam Simpson. Now, North Melbourne rebounding. Mark Roberts, who's got it. So he's running towards the centre wing area. Did he run too far? The umpire said no. He was taking little steps now. Glenn Lovett
in trouble now. Martin's up the ground.
Well, away with it is David Schwartz. He drives it high, but there's no one back there. It has to bounce through. Will it? Oh. Yes! Well done, David Schwartz. I think this is a goal. Listen to the crowd.
Well, where would David Schwartz be in the game if he hadn't have missed the last 2 years or 3 years, the better part of, with a couple of knee reconstructions? It was turned about because of that little indiscretion there by Mark Roberts. And Schwartz, as so often happens, was out of position. His opponent, Mickey Martin, had done the right thing and left him. But if there's a turnover, this is what can result. Geez, that must have been a tough one for the umpire to decide. It looked like it was right on the line, but David Schwartz has come up with a fantastic goal.
Demons within 4 points. Steins in the middle, and the whistle's gone for Steins' free kick against McKernan, who does go early against all ruckmen.
And I wonder if we're going to see a spate of this, Drew, in the middle of the ground where umpires try to eradicate that early jump. There's talk of it during the week.
He gave away 9 free kicks last week, McKernan, against Geelong. Here's Newton at half forward. Well done by Johnny Longmire, formerly a goal kicker, now a defender. Simpson's kick up to centre wing. Carey well up the ground. Here's Adam Simpson. Kick by Simpson to full forward. The punch from behind. Scholl couldn't get to it. McKernan dangerous at the back. And very well done, Marcus Seekamp. And a good kick too to Woden.
He's been in good form. Well, both those players have played well the last couple of weeks. Woden to centre wing. No push out. Or it was a push out, said the umpire. A little bit stiff, Johnny Longmire. Just a little nudge, I suppose.
Lee Newton, very important last week in his role across the half-forward line, and a good start again today.
He is moving well to half-forward. Peeling for a free kick is Schwartz. You can't wait for the umpire. Oh, he laid the tackle. Oh, too high. Or is it out in the full? Now, what's the umpire? I think he's going to pay it against David Schwartz here. Or is he?
I think so.
I think he's going against Schwartz for a hip and shoulder. Oh, that was, unless he said it was late, Gerard.
No, you're right, Pete. It's a relay free.
It's going to North. I thought that was hip and shoulder. Maybe he said it was too late.
Well, I think you've got a few people in the crowd disagreeing with the umpire, Pete.
Well,
right in front of the Melbourne members.
Bit unlucky, I thought, David Schwartz there. Punched away by Rock. Uze goes in after it. Bell. Oh, this is a good game at the moment. Stevens. Up in the air towards half forward. Scholl was the player, couldn't mark. Glenn Lovett went in after it. Well done by Ellison. Here's a chance for Mark Roberts on the left boot. Oh, he's kicked it very wide out in the full.
Well, all Mark Roberts has to do now is finish off his good work, because he's getting a stack of possessions. He really has been the high possession player on the ground with 7 possessions and 2 marks, and just working off Jim Steins pretty well. Hasn't made the most of his good work though.
No, it's 7-1. Steins has had 1 kick. And here's Roberts again for number 8. Outside 50. This is 20 metres out. McKernan's there. Ball punch to the front. Hurried kick by Clarkson. It sits well for Viney. To Glenn Lovett. He almost had to mark the hand pass. Phoebe. Charles at centre wing. At full stretch, couldn't quite reach it. Newton's been all right, but he's given it up to King. David King for one of those familiar runs. To centre half forward, and look who's on his own. That will kill you.
The Melbourne set themselves up for a fall there by over-possessing the ball across the half-back line. A couple of poor handball disposals. And then a poor kick went over the top of Charles's head, and through he comes again. The most mobile back pocket in the game. And he's a darn good kick also, as witnessed there.
So Wayne Carey, the king, could be back on the throne here today. This for number 2. 49 metres out. Oh, he's hooked it. And look at the disgust on Carey. And that's gone through for a minor score.
Yes, class forwards hate missing those shots for goal, and he certainly missed it by a mile. Glenn Lovett, an important player for Melbourne. He had plenty of options. This is Ingerson. Oh, he can't muck around with it there. He kicks to a contest. Would have been better off kicking to centre wing. Carey receives from Stevens on to Roberts. Roberts, oh, Scholl should mark this at the back. Yes, he had his name written all over it. It was kicked perfectly to him.
Ingerson just got lost, didn't he? He couldn't find the body of Craig Scholl. He tried to take the front position and then knew that he was out position. And the fact is that Ingerson's a left-hand puncher, and I think that was also going to unstable him.
So Scholl from directly in front for North Melbourne's 3rd, and it's right through the middle. So 3 goals to North. They've moved on to 3-2. In fact, Melbourne remain on 1-3.
Yes, it was perhaps wasn't their best transition out of defence there, Melbourne. They've done it pretty well to date, but on that occasion, it turned back and really did cause them some trouble. Quick turnover across their half-back line, which left Ingerson on Scholl, and Scholl just had the front spot at the sit and didn't let them down. Better kick that one for Mark Roberts.
Now McKernan faces Jim Steins for this ball up. Steins taking a long run up. McKernan will go early, and he was back on the ground before the ball arrived. Down to Stevens. Carey at centre half forward. Forced a path for Scott. Scott then went without it. Well done, Glenn Lovett. And a hurried kick out of defence by Obst. Will it get over the line? With a bit of help. Uze, who started the game on the bench, now in amongst the fray. North lead by 11 points, and we have just under 6 minutes to quarter time.
So it's a pretty even contest at midfield at the moment. Robert Scott. It's just that North look a little bit more dangerous when they go into attack than what Melbourne do. There's Clarkson coming in and his normal aggressive self.
Now, Glenn Lovett's had just 1 kick and 2 handballs. He was a 3-vote player last week. I just wonder whether early in the game it's not better to put him on the half-back flank.
Stevens, a hurry kick in towards the pocket. Scholl can't mark, but kept his balance well. That was good play. Robert Scott bends it back in front of the North Melbourne goal. Here's McKernan. He's got it. Kicks and has kicked it behind. And just enough pressure there, Gerard.
He's missed everything there.
Oh, he's missed a lot, has he?
And the umpire declared a point. But if we can get another look at that, I reckon that missed by 4 yards.
Well, the crowd reckons that he missed. Now, coming onto the ground for Melbourne is Brent Griggage, formerly of the Geelong under-18, Geelong Falcons. A hand pass across the ground to Stephen Phoebe. Phoebe has to be spot on this kick, knocked on by Neitz. But he's knocked it straight to Wayne Swass. Swass kicks it into that hole at centre half forward where McKernan's on his own and takes the mark.
Well, if the last kick's anything to go by, he's only got to get this one within 5 metres of the goals, and the umpire.
Now.
I thought you might mention that, Gerard.
But geez, the classic sin of football these days is to lose possession in midfield when all your defenders are running forward, and look who comes up with it without an opponent.
Corey McKernan from 45 metres, he's hooked it also. So some wasteful kicking at the moment. Now let's have a look at that disputed point, Gerard. McKernan.
Well, let's just see what has happened.
Oh.
Well, I think the Melbourne supporters, if they lose this game by a point.
Well, I reckon that is a perfect indication there should be a goal umpire, at least 2 goal umpires at either end, because that goal umpire had no chance to deliberate on that.
It was a guess.
At least 2. What do you want? 4?
Well, to be quite serious, it wouldn't hurt.
Here's Neitz to half forward. Well, North tidy up at the back. The hand pass to Martin.
Free kick.
And this ball coming back to be a North free kick to Mick Martin.
Well, the tackle went over the shoulder, and Mick was always going to get that free kick.
It was a bit unlucky when Schwartz kicked the goal, when Mick Martin was shepherding all the way up the centre wing. And it was a poor kick, not his fault. Turned the ball over and he was exposed. Forward of centre wing. Bell ran onto it well. And the kick is out of bounds at half forward for North. Now, this disputed point, let's have a look again. That's the behind post we see. And I think that you would say that went behind the behind post.
Well, it moved a long way through the air if it got through the points.
That's Brett Lovett dispossessed. Mellington dives on it. Well, back when it comes to Brett Lovett, he had no chance of getting rid of that, so the umpire will bounce it. But getting back to that disputed behind the goal umpire, I had a good look at him. He was standing right in the middle of the goal, so it was impossible physically to cover that amount of territory. Anyway,
You would have thought maybe one of the field umpires could have helped him out, Pete.
Or the boundary. As we see... I saw yesterday, well, Drew and I saw yesterday, Gerard, a good combination where the field umpire overruled the goal umpire and told him that the ball actually snicked the post as it went through after he was going to play a goal, wasn't he, Drew?
Right. Steins gets to this hit out over Mellington, straight back out of bounds, so he'll have to do it all over again. 1987 he started this unbroken run, and every week he creates a new record, just adding to his consecutive games list. Beats Mellington again, but doesn't get it clear for the Demons. Just outside 50. Oh, Scott's hand pass intercepted. Seekamp, open forward line. Schwartz with Martin. Down goes Mickey. Chance for David Schwartz, skirting the boundary line. Thumps it to Smith in the goal square. Oh, well done, Archer.
She's got more confidence now in that knee, Gerard. David Schwartz.
Yes, he really is moving like the athlete that we knew he was before he got injured. He's still pretty heavy, but that bulk he's used that to great effect also over the last few weeks.
So David King, the dashing backman, he become a very important player in this North Melbourne side.
Not a bad kick.
Beautiful kick, pinpoint accuracy. Swash gets it to Stevens. Stevens over the centre wing area. At the back was Neitz. The umpire said a free kick against Neitz, and will go to McKernan.
Well, that was played by the umpire 100 metres away, and the one 20 metres away said play on.
Here's Mellington marking way out at 50 metres. Here's a beautiful kick. Anthony Mellington.
Pretty good hands overhead too.
Well, he's one guy that normally this distance wouldn't worry. It'll be a matter of accuracy. North Melbourne, from 7 shots, have only kicked 3 goals. And Brett Lovett, I'll ask you about that matchup in a minute, Gerard. Playing on Mellington. Mellington runs close to the man on the mark. Won't quite make the distance. No mark. A kick by Robert Scott. I think he might have just missed. Yes, he has. So another behind on the board. So Brett Lovett will be giving away a lot of centimetres as far as marking power, Gerard.
Yes, and I'm sure obviously Greg Hutchison would understand that, but he obviously wants to keep Brett Lovett down there for his creative skills off the half-back line. But if North Melbourne get the ball down quickly enough and accurately enough, then it's going to be a major problem for them in the air.
Longmire, excellent mark on the wing, but he's given it straight back to the man who kicked it to him, Woden. Shane Woden, an excellent debut season in the AFL.
And interesting there, we saw Jim Steins just trying to work down and get a kick 10 metres away from Woden. And I'm sure Greg Hutchison would like him where Corey McKernan was.
Pyman picks up. Robert Pyman to the 50. Charles. Oh, great mark, son. That is a capture.
A brilliant mark, wasn't it?
Sean Charles, he's got Schwartz in the goal square who wants it. Martin standing a few metres off and in front of David Schwartz. What a mark.
And lurking at the back is Sean Smith, Drew.
And there is pressure when the man from Port Melbourne is lurking right behind you. Kick by Charles. He's got distance, but offline. Don't know whether he's kicking for goal or trying to pass it, but he's got a minor score.
You're almost better off from that sort of position to try and centre it short.
Yeah, you'd have to agree, Pete. Most of the sides these days kick it to the top of the square. They've been doing that for a long time, but they do it more consistently now, most football teams. But it's always a tough one because you had Corey McKernan down there, and he's perhaps going to be the most obvious person to mark the ball.
So David King to centre wing. Newton is there, punched away by Roberts. An important ball here. Some good tackling. Sean Smith did well. They've got time just before quarter time. This is Nietzsche receiving from Brett Lovett. They need a mark here. Schwartz will come from the side. Now Charles. Now Martin. He loses the ball. They're appealing for a free kick, but the umpire having none of that. The crowd saying it was holding the ball, but I think the umpire was right.
Didn't look to be a lot of prior opportunity, and a pretty good decision from the umpire. Good tackle also by David Schwartz.
Well, the bounce, the siren about to go. There's the siren after a quarter where Melbourne were very, very competitive. They're down by 12 points. They had a lot of the play. North Melbourne wasted it down their end when they got into their forward 50.
It was probably a quarter of wasted opportunities for both sides. North Melbourne do look the more dangerous, but clearly Melbourne have set themselves. They had a real go last week and came up with the 4 points. They're in reasonable form, Melbourne. They've got a couple of key forwards. Schwartz has won the ball well, kicked a great goal. Sean Smith has taken a couple of big marks, but hasn't been able to convert. Now we see one of the Melbourne players limping off the ground.
McDonald, I don't think we'd see him back.
No, he does look to be in a bit of trouble, no question about that. But North Melbourne right at the moment, they just look as if they're more composed and have got more goal-kicking opportunities.
Well, there's Dennis Pagan coming out to address his troops. The quarter time here at the MCG after a good first quarter of football. North Melbourne 3-5-23 lead the Demons 1-5-11.
Start of the second quarter here at the MCG. It was a lively first term, very entertaining. Both sides inaccurate, 3-5 to 1-5. Melbourne really taking it up to the premiers. Steins and McKernan. McKernan right over the top of him. Jimmy hasn't had things all his own way here today. Ball jolted free, Melbourne free. Advantage to Clarkson. Back he goes with the hand pass. Phoebe inside the 50. Martin got a touch to it but didn't clear the area. Smith, and round the corner Grigic won't make the distance. A dive and a mark! Pyman. Well, they've been spectacular on the forward line. A mark by Sean Smith in the first quarter. That one by Pyman. A goal from about 60 metres out by Schwartz. Look at that.
Yes, it was truly a very acrobatic and a difficult mark to complete. He's kicked just 6 goals this year, Robert Pyman, and this is an important one for this game, the result of this game.
Oh, the kick hits the post. Well, fine line between success and failure. I'm talking about the exploits on Melbourne's forward line. I left out the mark by Sean Charles, which was probably the best of the lot.
And let's have a look at this. Just good use of the arms. Didn't get entangled in a wrestle, but got rid of Wayne Swash.
Oh, brilliant mark again here too by Uze from that kick in. Oh, they've got some marking power out here. Charles again has taken the mark.
And Sean Smith looks injured. It was a brilliant piece of shepherding. It kept Glenn Archer out of the fray.
He's holding that knee. Let's hope he's...
I reckon to be more of a corky than anything else.
Yeah, well...
He's done up like an Egyptian mummy.
Well, what with he and David Schwartz down there. Now, Charles is doing some brilliant things out there today. He'll have to kick this about 55 metres. The distance will be a doubt. He lets fly and trying to gain that extra bit of distance. He's hooked it and put it through for a behind.
Once again, Melbourne falling down. They're winning the ball just around the 50-metre mark and just taking pot shots from between 60 and 45 metres out and not converting it. Let's have a look at the shepherding. Magnificent piece of shepherding because he feigned going for the mark, didn't give away the free kick. That's exactly how it's done. Copybook stuff.
Neats punches from behind. Smith a little touch, but Pike takes it. Roberts an outstanding first quarter. He's kicked the centre half forward. Carey crunches the pack. Scott gets a hand pass out. Simpson goes over his head. Carey's followed up. He's given it up to Steins. Across half back goes Jimmy Steins. Stevens goes to ground. Swooped on by Scott. To the forward pocket. Phoebe the spoil, and at ground level. Well done, Stephen Phoebe. Viney for the boundary line. He gets it outside the 50. Good defensive kick.
Well, they're working very hard, Melbourne, and particularly that guy. He works hard all the time. Todd Viney. They're working hard. They're looking a little bit dangerous, Gerard. I mean, they're getting plenty of the ball.
Well, I'm sure Greg Hutchison would be pleased with their work rate. It was an interesting choice of kick by Jim Steins, the last one.
Todd Viney to Adam Musa. Yes, it was a very poor option, really. Centre of the ground. This is Grigic. Runs to half forward and drives long. They need someone to take a mark. Oh, the Melbourne players didn't really go for it. And it's a free kick. It's a free kick against the Melbourne players. It'll go to Swash, but I thought The Melbourne players really took their eyes off it and then didn't really contest it. Archer is marked in the back pocket.
Sean Smith is coming off the ground. He's been replaced by O'Brien. Smith obviously a little bit worse for wear after that last bump we saw.
Through Schwash to Rock, and now Longmire at right halfback. Kangaroos working it down the southern stand side. McKernan, and Neats at the back, thumps it long inside the 50. Schwartz! Neats and Schwartz, we haven't been able to say that too often in recent years. What a difference it makes.
Yes, it really does make a side look formidable. Neats is a terrific centre half-back, one of the best in the competition. He was a competent forward also, but with another option called David Schwartz, then Melbourne look a far stronger unit and a side that's got a skeleton that can be built around. Now, the other aspect about this is that Schwartz has taken the mark only 30 metres out from goal, which gives them a fair percentage shot at goal.
It's just about a leg strengthening exercise in itself, just to move around with that bandage on. He's taking a long run up at this. And this one gets away to the right, so they're spraying them everywhere, and the Demons, for their efforts, have just 1 goal 8.
Maybe unbalanced one of the tyres a little bit by pulling the left strap a touch tight.
Well, that's very poor kicking for goal, really. I mean, the players bust their insides out to get it down there, Gerard. It must be frustrating.
Yeah, they almost need a nice, easy, cheap one at the moment, Melbourne, just to get their confidence going again.
Uze did that very, very well. Griggich, well played. He goes short, and he found Pyman.
He looks all right, Griggich.
Oh, he's got a couple of touches. He hasn't been on the ground all that long, and he's liable to turn around and dob this one from near the boundary line.
Well, I think you're right, Drew. He's got a great frame to build a body around. He's mobile, and he looks to have pretty good skills. I think he'll probably kick this one, Pete.
I wouldn't be surprised after I missed a couple of easy ones. There's Pyman driving a goal. Have a look at that. You wouldn't believe it. It's a goal. So Robert Pyman kicks the difficult one, and all of a sudden there's only 3 points in it.
And I don't think we should lose sight of the fact that North Melbourne's season, as far as September finals is concerned, is on the line in this match. They've got 7 wins. They've got to keep in touch with the pack, and they'd expect to win this game quite comfortably. All of a sudden, North Melbourne have 8 shots at goal. Melbourne with 10.
In the middle, McKernan wins. Simpson dashes through the centre circle to half forward. The egg. Glenn Lovett. Hand pass didn't go anywhere. Allison. 30 metres out, tucked up on the boundary line. Centering kick, Roberts. Oh, couldn't take the mark. Any amount of Melbourne players there. The hand pass didn't really get out to Viney. Off the ground, Glenn Lovett. Oh, that's luck's a fortune. Steins. Lovett. Kicked by Lovett up short of centre wing. And Pyman's been all right since he came off the bench.
Playing good football.
And how much has Glenn Lovett run? Right up from the back pocket, forward of the wing. The kick to the 50. Charles! Did he mark it? Play on. That was a half volley. Charles complaining. Get on with the play, son. The ball's alive.
Yes, I don't think he did mark it. He thought he did. Free kick going whose way? North Melbourne's.
We'll have another look at this attempted mark. It's certainly bounced, I think, Sean, but he may not have known that. But a great piece of defensive work the other end of the ground by Ingerson to spoil Mark Roberts.
Well, here's Carey receiving from Archer. He's right up at half back. Now, Uze will lead in the race. He should. Well played, Uze. Used his body well. And he's looking at the umpire. You've got to play the whistle, son. And the Melbourne supporters hooting. Uze looked the umpire for a free kick.
Well, I think Greg Hutchison will like it just to expand on that, Pete, because this is a lesson for young Uze.
Yes, you've got to go by the whistle. You've got to just keep going for the ball. That's where he reckons he should have got a free, and maybe right. He wasn't. He was held slightly, I would think.
Enough to take him off the ball. I think he had justifiable claims.
Neats kicks it to centre wing. This is Carey. Carey's going to bomb it long in towards half-boy. McKernan will fly. Can't mark. Oh, Todd Viney read it beautifully. Stephen Phoebe, the bounce important. He comes back. Ordinary hand pass. Hopgood's caught. Almost threw it away. Love it. Oh, gee, they mucked around with it then.
Well, it should never have been a handball to Hopgood. It should have come much wider. Melbourne had two players waiting for the exit. They were 35, 40 metres away from the contest. That's where it should have gone, and well, young Paul Hopgood would be delighted that he didn't hear the umpire's whistle.
Well, McKernan tries to hack it out of the air. Demons there in numbers. Viney's hand pass to Jim Stynes, who scoops it in with one glove. What a kick! Out in front of Woden to run onto. Well, he was taken down by Pike when surely he didn't have the ball. Pike's kick to the 50 and Rock takes the mark. North haven't scored in this quarter. We've been playing 9.5 minutes. And Melbourne have kicked 1 goal 3. And here's Freeborn with a mark about 45 metres from goal.
I think Woden made a big mistake playing on too, didn't he? Really?
He did take him on. But I think Drew was right. He didn't have possession of the ball when he was tackled. Now, whether or not he just fumbled it, we'll have another look at it. Pike in control. In fact, Pike may have had hold of him just before he let the ball go.
Should have been a free kick. Yeah, it should have been a free kick because the ball had gone loose.
So Glenn Freeborn,
side there, but nevertheless,
to get North's first score in this quarter, 10 minutes in. And that could be out on the full. It is. What a shocker.
Yes, poor kick by Glenn Freeborn, and we've seen some ordinary kicking. There's not a lot of breeze today. I was just looking at the flag, so perfect conditions for football, really, Gerard, isn't
just
it?
a zephyr up in the bleachers here, Pete. There'd be hardly any down the below.
So the flyer is Neitz, punched away by McKernan. Todd Viney getting plenty of the ball. The centre wing, waiting for it was Bell. Here's Chandler. Bending it back to the half-forward line. Some pushing and shoving going on. Free kick to Melbourne. Listen to the roars of delight. Some shepherding on David Neitz.
Neitz out of defence to the wing. Stynes, legal use of the body. North fans on the southern stand side not too happy. Kick by Jim Stynes to half-forward. Schwartz. Martin spoils well. A hand pass into Schwartz, who's had a lot of it. 8 possessions to Swash. To half-forward. Good climb by Seatcamp, and then crunched into his teammate. Simpson back to Carey. Carey's pass. Look at the disposal to Roberts.
Great kick.
Yeah, they're a bit stiff at Melbourne. Seatcamp, who's been one of the better players since Greg Hutchison took over as coach, almost took a pretty good defensive mark, but not to be. And Carey came up and quickly spotted Mark Roberts, who's working Jim Stynes over in an athletic way, just really working into their forward line and trying to drag Stynes away from the play.
Actually, 2 of the Melbourne players collided, didn't they? Which really cost them possession of the ball.
This is Roberts' 11th disposal. Stynes is picking up. He's had 7. Roberts 40 metres out. And it's close. Too hard to call. A goal. So North on the board in this second quarter. It took them 12 minutes.
And Melbourne's really had the majority of the play in many respects. They've won most of the possessions through the middle of the ground, and they've defended quite well. They just haven't been able to utilise it enough. And North Melbourne are the side where they are such a good side that even when they're not playing well, they'll continue just to kick the odd goal. That one put them further in front, and Melbourne have just got to make the most of their opportunities and convert.
North Melbourne by 9 points. Stynes and McKernan, they go early again, and Stynes won it. Good play, Woden. Now, I think he might have tripped himself up there. And the umpire will bounce it again. So, again, it'll be Stynes and McKernan. They're not running at each other this time. They don't have to. McKernan front position. Stynes used his body well. Rock tried to play for a free kick. Here's Stevens. Oh, quick little kick. Well done to Mark Roberts. Roberts kicks to the half line. That was smothered. Danger here for Melbourne because Anthony Rock latches onto the ball and kicks it wide and out in the full. So the kicking at the moment pretty ordinary.
And the smother was by Simpson, who got on the back of the head, his teammate. Punched out of bounds by Rock. Just gets over the line. 29 plays 20. Melbourne taking it right up to the premiers for the second time this season. and North trying to break a 3-game losing streak. McKernan had a quick look to find out where Steins was. There was ruck interference. The whistle's gone. Free kick to Corey. To full forward. Crocker's on the ground. Nudged under it by Lovett. And a free kick to Crocker.
Well, Brett Lovett made the mistake of using his hands to just push Crocker forward. As you see, Crocker just trying to work his way back. Wasn't a huge push, but enough to give the umpire cause to blow the whistle. And I think the umpires did send a thing out to all coaches during the last couple of weeks to say they were going to focus on that.
Crocker kicks the goal. Just on the ground off the bench. And Brett Lovett infringing. Darren Crocker, he played in the premiership last year, kicked 3 goals in the grand final, but injuries have kept him to just 4 games this year.
Yes, well, just having a look at it on slow motion, it looked as if Darren Crocker certainly helped the umpire make his decision. Maybe a little bit stiff, Brett Lovett there, but you put the arms on the shoulders, on the back, you really do open yourself up to be free kicked. But a good goal there by Crocker. And North Melbourne now 5-5, have a 15-point lead over Melbourne.
Steins and McKernan. Steins won it. What Melbourne need is a couple of quick goals to reply. That's Freeborn getting it further afield. Sock it off the ground. A chance for North Melbourne here. Robert Scott latches onto it. Onto the left. He tries to bend it back. Puts it through for a behind. So North Melbourne's last couple of minutes has been very good. Getting on top. Steve Phoebe to bring it back in.
Bright sunshine now at the MCG. Oh, that's not a great kick by Phoebe. Overrun by Seacamp and taken to the line by Chandler. Out on the full, Chandler will get a free kick. Came off Uze, a bit unlucky. Chandler's kick. Carey looking into the sun. Seacamp. Glenn Lovett. Pyman, knocked away by Chandler. Up to centre wing. Longmire. Oh, he laid it like an egg. And past Phoebe. Newton. Uze. Adam Uze inside the 50. Martin in front leading like a full forward. So the punch came from Schwartz to Newton. Now here's Martin.
Back it comes to the half-forward line. It's a nice mark and he's off. Peter Bell into the pocket. The lead is on by Crocker. Brett Lovett's hot in his hammer. Crocker went without it. Brett Lovett's got it at half-back. A sweeping hand pass. Finds Uze. This is where they've got to do something with the ball. Oh, Charles leads out brilliantly. He's quick. Now, there's another lead coming by Sean Smith. Can he get there? No, the kick doesn't quite get there, but Robert Pyman a chance. He latches onto it. He's caught high. Must be a free kick. Oh! That was across the shoulders, surely. Well, it looked high to me. Here we see. What's the arm? Yes, right around the neck, umpire. Too late.
Well, Pete, we're sitting right in amongst the Demons fans, and they all agree with you. Round the neck, umpire, you deleted.
I just took one round the neck from our statistician here. He's got a Melbourne beanie on.
Sure, good mark by David Schwartz.
Coming back to form, isn't he, Gerard?
Yes, he looks a dangerous forward now.
Now, on the boundary line, 50 metres out from goal. His goal in the first term was a 60-metre job on the run. He nearly has to move these cameramen down here just inside the fence. They've got a great view of it, but Schwartz can't get a shot at goal. That's a good kick across the face. Juggled over the line for a behind. So it doesn't read well for Melbourne. 2-9. North Melbourne 5-6.
There's Dennis Pagan. But they're in there with a chance. It's just that Melbourne need to capitalise when they go forward. The North look far more dangerous when they go forward. So they're a little bit stiff before. It should have been Pyman's kick and he would have been putting it to the square. There's a kick, right on the line. Mickey Martin has taken this mark.
David King has kicked in a couple of rippers.
So Michael Martin to centre wing. McKernan and Steins, no mark over the back. Scholl gets it to Peter Bell to the half-forward line. Glenn Lovett, I should say, will take it over the line. And good play, because if he had have come back in, he might have been collared.
Glenn Lovett's playing across that half-back line. And he's done okay down there. He's now got 9 possessions, so I think that's the appropriate move to midfielders that are getting taken out of the game. Have a look at the handball stats. Melbourne clearly their choice of weapon.
Glenn Lovett's kick goes backwards, just about across the ground. Brett Lovett loping after it. Don't know that he lopes as well as Robert Harvey. And that's out of bounds.
Well, I think he had the boundary line in his sights for about 30 metres away.
He certainly did.
One of the veterans, and he was around when Jim Stein started this run 10 years ago.
I think when Robert Harvey lopes after it, he's still outpacing everyone. That's the difference. Big thump back towards the boundary line. Here's Chandler. He gains about 30 metres. So it's still inside, it's inside North's 50. They lead 5-6 to 2-9 at the moment. There's former Fitzroy utility player. Steins now against McKernan. Taken by Mark Roberts. Well played. Big punch away. Back it comes towards Crocker. He went without it. Out it comes to Neitz from Brett Lovett. Taken by Robert Scott. Back in front of goal. Here's a goal coming up. Scholl. So a fortunate bounce. Good play by Robert Scott. Goal to North.
There was a great bit of play also by Craig Scholl. Just edged Marcus Seekamp out of it. There you see Scott just getting the ball forward. There's always going to be a ticklish one. And Seekamp just had to knock that ball over through for a behind. Should have conceded the behind. Craig Scholl did it brilliantly. It's amazing how one individual effort can change the game. And all of a sudden, North Melbourne have doubled the score of the Demons.
Yes, North took a while to get motoring in this quarter. 12 minutes before they got their first goal, but now they've added 3. 3-1 this quarter. McKernan beats Steins. Clears the centre square. Crocker, good hands. Simpson. Rock! Signs looking ominous now. Anthony Rock's taken 3 marks, coming up for his 8th kick, but McKernan's hit out of the middle was worth a kick and a half.
He was given a free swipe, but Jim Steins was trying to coax him into jumping early, but he didn't that time. He just kept running at the ball and whacked it to centre half forward. Momentum's a wonderful thing when it's going your way.
So Anthony Rock right in front, 25 metres out, gets the goal. Well, Melbourne have really been taking it up to North, but now look at the scoreline and the margin, 27 points the difference.
Well, there you see the little side step in the middle, and that was an important one because that tap just gave all the momentum going North Melbourne's way. Adam Simpson got a pretty quick kick on it, and Anthony Rock, one of the stalwarts of the North Melbourne successful era over the last 4 or 5 years, was right on the end of it.
Steins again. McKernan won that to Chandler down towards the half-forward line. This is Marcus Seekamp. He's caught, gets in a hand pass, and over the line it goes. And just looking to see an interested spectator just down here in front of us. The Collingwood coach Tony Shaw is here. There he is. After they were really flogged last night by Port Adelaide, and they play Melbourne next week, I think.
Yep, here at the MCG next Sunday.
Yeah, so that'll be a good game. Mark Roberts bends it back. It'll nearly be a Melbourne mark, that one. No, umpire letting it go. And there'll be a bounce right next to the boundary line. And he's got his notepad out there, Drew, and a pen.
Yes, doing all the homework. Brett Lovett clears to the 50. Good mark, Anthony Stevens. Centering kick to Roberts. Whether in the ruck or at centre half forward, he's having a whale of a game. Delays it a bit too much this time. Carey. Stevens again. Spirals it to full forward. Scholl is there. Good mark, Smith. He's marked on the forward line and the back line.
Smith, the jumping jack now. They've got loose players going now. Steve Phoebe drives to centre wing and a nice mark. That wasn't kicked to Charles's advantage. David King. Danger because Swash is a great kick. He runs onto the left, chips it out wide. He finds Chandler. Chandler calling for someone to lead. He brings it in towards half forward. Thump the ground. Grabbed by Peter Bell. The little fella's on the boundary line. Can he thread it through? Oh, what a goal! Brilliant stuff. Well, you'd go a long way to see a better goal than that. Fair dinkum. Terrific stuff.
Well, you said it all, Pete. It was just a fantastic goal. Corey McKernan's there waiting for the one to go into the middle of the ground. Now, does he do a check side? He does. What a great kick from Peter Bell, who's having an exceptional season.
Oh, that was just exciting. Magnificent play by Peter Bell. Well, Melbourne got on the board early this quarter, and now North are killing them. 5 goals to nothing. Out of the centre, Archer gets back.
Gee, you've got to contest those balls, don't you?
Johnny Longmire at left halfback. Up short to Simpson. Probably a true halfback now, Simpson.
Neitz appears to have gone to centre half forward for Melbourne.
54 to 21. Steins palms the ball down. Phoebe. Viney. Very high for Pyman, but he picked him out well. Robert Pyman, former North Melbourne player. And he kicked it to North Melbourne as though he was still there. Pike.
Pike is off and running. Centre wing Woden put himself. Oh, that was well played. That's a sign of a guy who can really play. His use of the body was terrific. Charles.
Brett Lovett coming off for Lee Newton.
So Sean Charles went for the long bomb. And I don't know what the ball is doing out on that boundary line when he should be heading to the top of the square, in my opinion.
We'll just have a look at this incident here about prior opportunity. Now, if he didn't get his hand on that ball, that is a free kick against. Now, it resulted in a Melbourne goal. Fortunately, it went on because of Peter Bell's. It was a special, but the umpire was right there. It didn't look as if he punched it to me, and that should have been a free kick.
So Schwartz receives his free kick just outside 50. They've got just under 2 minutes to race it down and score a goal. Chandler got Schwartz too high there.
Pretty crude by Chandler.
So probably outside kicking distance. He's got to kick this again. And David Schwartz is chipping it in short again and finds Hopgood. He's outside kicking distance.
Still a bit groggy, Schwartz.
So Paul Hopgood puts it up to the 10-metre square. The high flyers come. It's no mark to Longmire. Crocker is there. Threw it away. Sean Smith. We did throw that. Pike. Chandler. And this is Freeborn off and running.
Back to Mickey Martin. Defensive 50. Pokes it up short to Rock. Into Roberts, whose mobility is killing him today. What a game he's had, Roberts. That's 15 possessions, short of half-time. McKernan marks. Chandler, umpire got in the way. Back he goes to Simpson. Left-footer by Simpson. Carey shepherds for a goal. Noah behind.
There's Adam Simpson. 21 plays 55, so that's 34 points. And North have had much the better of this quarter. When the first term was fairly even in general play, Glenn Lovett, Sean Smith, to centre wing, Andrew Obbs, thumped away. by Pike, former Melbourne player himself. So it's on centre wing. Half a minute to go until half time. Steins and McKernan again. Clarkson couldn't get his boot to it. It looks like Swass, I think, at the bottom of that pack. And also number 48 there for Melbourne, the young player. He's only 17, Brent Grigic.
Yes, doesn't turn 18 until October.
I'll tell you what, he'd be pretty happy if he went through to the age of 27 without missing a game, as Jim Steins has done over the last decade.
Yeah. Hand pass comes back from Chandler to Carey. Scott to Carey it was. There's the siren for half-time. North Melbourne at time. Start of the second half here at the MCG. Umpire Jamie Love to restart proceedings. 34-point lead to the Kangaroos. McKernan, but didn't get it clear. Glenn Lovett's kick smothered. Well done, by Scott. Up towards half forward. Viney got the tough one out. Bounced it to Uze. Uze, long kick on the run. Schwartz behind. Archer got a touch. Schwartz still a chance. 49 metres out. That's Neitz and Schwartz down in the forward pocket, and the ball out of play. David Neitz onto the forward line, and we'll have a throw in with the Demons straight into attack. And there's David Schwartz. He kicked a mammoth goal in the first quarter.
So Melbourne would need to score a couple of quick goals to get themselves back in this game. North in the second term got right on top. Longmire, Wayne Schwartz, Mickey Martin. The half-back line, just a little nudge out by Steins. Well played by Anthony Stevens. Roberts was great in the first half. Onto McKernan. Look how mobile he is for such a big man. Onto the left foot. Sean Smith couldn't mark. Seacamp. Todd Viney. Sean Smith. And Steins. This is a good start to Melbourne. It's a good passage to play that. Jimmy Steins, well, he loves to chip it in short. He does, and he finds Newton. There's David Schwartz calling for the ball. He's at the back. No mark, or is it a mark? He's got it on the left foot. He's bending it back. And Pyman couldn't get there. They'll throw in on the opposite side of the ground.
You wonder whether Jimmy Steins did the right thing to carry the ball and then chip it short. If he'd given the 40-metre kick earlier, could have opened up the forward line. Longmire in ruck. No chance here for the Demons. Grigic. Mick Martin. Kick smothered by Pyman. Here's Robert Pyman again. Whack. Get in front of that and play fair. Ball out of play.
Cop one of those in the face, you'd certainly know it.
Yeah. Melbourne crowd trying to lift the Demons to make a good start to this second half. Schwartz and Martin to contest. And at the back, Longmire won it. Brett Lovett hooks it to the top of the square. Obbs did well. Pyman gets the hand pass. Viney couldn't hook it back, and it's out of bounds on the full.
It was actually a pretty poor snap, wasn't it, in the finish?
Well, it's been the story of Melbourne's afternoon today, just missing opportunities that they should have converted, and that was one of them. Todd would be disappointed with that.
Yep. Peter Bell receives from Anthony Rock. The centre of the ground, it's a contest. Thumped over the back. Steins, oh, that was cleverly done to Newton. Great play by the big Irishman. In towards Brett Lovett. Now, what are they going to do this time? That's good play to Neitz. He can have a shot from 55 metres. Running back is Schwartz. Gee, was slow getting back to the ball. That we could have almost marked that, I thought.
Well, he's still getting back to full fitness and agility. And whilst it's easy to run a straight line, when you've had one of those knee operations, agility is perhaps the last thing that comes back, because it does take a lot of confidence.
I must say I agree with that, Jared, as we see Robert Scott chipping it to Schwartz.
Wayne Schwartz, 10 possessions in the first half. Plenty of distance with that kick to half forward. Sean Smith. Stevens. One out is Carey. No mark. Ingerson did pretty well to wrestle it away from him. Steins, Viney. Good pick-up on the half volley by Phoebe. Loses it in the tackle. Carey's got it. Wayne Carey. Chandler the only hope for North, and Charles should have taken the mark. Instead of that, he rushes it over the line.
And an interesting positional change by Melbourne. Sean Charles having a run on the fence. I can't remember him playing down the back half, Drew.
No, and they've got now Neats on the forward line, so they've turned him upside down.
So Steins against Robert. Steins with the left hand. Danger here. It's in front of the North goal. Socket through by Melbourne. And it is a behind the North. Brett Lovett leaving it for Stephen Phoebe to kick in. And Melbourne on the kick-ins have often had loose men all over the place, and they've got them again. They've got Ingerson this time. Now he looks up, there's no one to kick it to, so he has to prop. He might go the hand pass over the top. He will. Todd Viney. Obst. No mark. Didn't hold it long enough. Chandler. Swash. North Melbourne. Scholl. Adam Simpson. Now in front of the half-forward area, locked in by Carey, and the umpire will come in and bounce it.
And Smith, he must wonder what his role in life is as well.
Yes, he's been up and back a little bit. It does appear as if Sean Charles has got an on-ball role, or he may just well have followed the ball down into that defensive half, because currently just in the centre of the ground.
A lot of players around this ball up. Chance for the Kangaroos. Steins gets it outside the 50. Freeborn the hand pass back. King losing ground in possession. Back to centre wing. Oh, great kick to Simpson. Just inside the boundary line on 50.
Good work by Simpson, who shoveled it out earlier in that pack.
Scott couldn't mark. Steins. It's David and Goliath. Jimmy's got it. Oh, yes, he had it dead set.
I thought they both sort of pounced on it. Anyway, we got there. Oh, great effort by Steins then. Well, he had his left hand there too, Robert Scott.
Oh, Jimmy, you've got to do more than that.
You reckon?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought he was a bit stiff.
Well, he did jump on the ball, didn't he? Didn't try to get it out.
Well, Scott jumped from behind, put his hand on the ball as well.
Took the ball up.
So, little David and Goliath, and David's won the battle. Can he cap it off with a goal? Robert Scott! Well, he fought out of his division and had a victory.
Oh, Stein's not happy with it. I don't blame him there. Now watch.
Well, you're not allowed to tuck the ball underneath, are you? But you're right, Scott had his hand on it.
Scott put his hand on the ball as well. It should have been a ball bounced in. I think Jimmy might have been saying that to the ump, but you've got to just make some attempt to get it out. 40 points the margin. Steins and McKernan. Oh, he used his body well there. Brett Lovett. Now to Glenn Lovett. On to Steve Phoebe. Here's Charles. Oh, he's dropped another chest mark. Socket off the ground. Down there by Chandler. Steve Phoebe. Todd Viney. Newton. He's got to kick it. No, he won't. He'll give it to Stephen Phoebe, who brings it in towards half forward. So is that a push? It's a push out, and it is going to Jimmy Steins. It's very crowded forward line. Steins runs around the man on the mark, chips it in towards half forward, and the mark has been taken by Uze. Adam Uze will kick from 45 metres.
Well, really, Adam Uze made the most of a difficult situation there. Jimmy Steins elected to play on, and geez, it was a poor kick. I thought it was going to the top of the square, but it almost favoured the North Melbourne player. Only good body work there by Uze. Saw Melbourne maintain possession.
Well, these are the ones they've been missing today, Melbourne, particularly early. They could do with a couple of quick goals. Adam Uze from directly in front. Kicks that goal right through the middle. Just what the doctor ordered for Melbourne. Now they need a couple more. The Melbourne Chiefs got very happy. And
a good conversion. A smart play by Steve Phoebe on the boundary line. to set this up and also to win the ball back a little while earlier where he used his body and just tapped the ball to a teammate. But I reckon Melbourne will be pretty pleased with the development of Lee Newton, Peter. Another summer under his belt, and he could be a force next year.
He reads the play well.
And he's more mobile than I first thought when I saw him for the first time, but got good hands as well, good thinker.
North made a change, Freeborn off and Allison on. Stevens a little kick out of the middle, Woden for Melbourne. Stephen Phoebe wide for Obst. Pike jumps from behind. Schwass didn't get it out. Steins, quick hands, good play. Obst hauled in by Pyman. Kick by Pyman, Glenn Lovett. Demons looking better. And the crowd not happy about the angle Glenn Lovett has been forced to come round on. Just about in the third row of the bleachers. 40 metres out, but hardly any daylight between the posts. Oh, it's a good kick! Gee, that didn't miss by a long way.
And another behind on the board to the Demons. That's their 11th. 3-11 plays 9-8. So a wide shot of the kick in. The Melbourne have it pretty well covered at the moment. He might be forced to kick long here, David King. Now he's found the short man. It's Glenn Archer. Robert Scott. Schwass. He loves to run and bounce and drives it long, but Anthony Ingleson read it well. And a nicely judged mark at half-back. He's been a good, honest toiler for Melbourne. He's taken on some big tasks in the last couple of years and very honest. That's a good mark. The player Gerard was talking about, Newton. Brett Lovett. Here's Marcus Seacamp. Gets his boot to it. He might have got a goal. Touched right on the line by Sean Charles, flying. And, gee, that would have lifted them if he could have slotted that one through.
Yeah, a little bit of lack of awareness there. He must have known there was somebody tracking him. And in the end, it was Swartz who knocked it away from Charles.
Glenn Archer works it out of defence to Little Rock, Arkansas. Up to half forward. Crocker swamped. Comes to Stevens. High ball to the forward pocket. Scholl after it. And it's out of bounds. 32 points the margin. It had been 34 at half-time. Melbourne have kicked 1-3 to 1-1 this quarter. Approaching the 12-minute mark. Jimmy Steins, you're a marvel. Here he goes against McKernan. Corey beats him. Viney has had a lot of the football. That's 21 possessions for Todd Viney.
Well, he works so hard. He'll always get the ball plenty of times, Todd Viney. He's into his 30s and he's still a good player for Melbourne. Woden at the back. Steins, the big fist, back towards the boundary line, and in fact it is over and a little bit further around, 50-metre line. Jimmy been rucking all day. This time it looks like Mark Roberts to take him on. Roberts wins it. Crocker, Chandler, Glenn Lovett, Brett Lovett. Clever hand pass. Seacamp, Steins, Anthony Stevens in towards the full forward area. Rock smothered off his boot. Woden, Todd Viney. This is good stuff as he kicks it to the half-forward line. Bounce important. Oh, well played by David King, but he went without it. Grabbed by Grigic. Can Swartz take a mark? He's back with a fly. Yes! He'll be right on the boundary line, David Swartz. What can he do from there, Gerard?
Well, Swartz can do anything, Pete. He's one of those remarkable players. He'll probably come around and kick it on his left. He may go for a boomerang.
Here he goes. He's gone to the check side. Oh, he might have just missed. Yes. So they just can't kick the goals at the Melbourne. Melbourne at the moment, they've got plenty of the play. 3-13 to 9-8.
Well, he's a strong man, David Schwartz. He held off Mickey Martin there. There's no need for him to actually rush that. We saw him play on, but he could have just taken a fair bit more time.
Rock to Stevens. Up to centre wing. It didn't carry. And the mark taken by David Neitz. Melbourne, if they could get some scores.
Well, Neitz is a centre-half forward and he's looking for a marking option.
Thumps it very long. David King hits it hard. Drops the ball. Don't tell me he paid that mark. Is that a mark?
Well, certainly came out.
Yeah. King straight up the centre corridor. McKernan gets underneath the ball. Ingerson flips it across to Stones. Glenn Lovett. The Demons having their share of the ball. Can't get a score. Charles! 40 metres out.
They've got plenty of the ball, Gerard, at the moment.
Well, I reckon they'd have as much of the ball all day, this North Melbourne, except for about a 10-minute period in the second term. Melbourne has had its share. They just haven't had the forward line structure. And even today, even in this quarter, I should say, they seem to miss so many opportunities that could be turned into goals.
Sean Charles, 2 behinds today, looking for his first goal. Oh, it's a poor old kick. Another behind.
That is a terrible kick for, I don't know.
What Melbourne have done particularly well today is defend their behinds. North Melbourne's kick-ins, they've turned them over a number of times. But it's fair to say they've had plenty of practice at it this afternoon, Pete.
Yep, Wayne Schloss kicks it to himself and then drives it long. It's a wobbly kick. Ball hits the deck. Grigic loses it. McKernan to half forward. Steve Phoebe is there against Chandler. Seacamp and Scholl. Good play by Scholl. Free kick. Well, it looks like it's going Melbourne's way. Todd Viney. No, it's got to come back. And we've got to go back over the mark. Viney having another good game. Brings it to centre wing. Newton and Carey. Carey couldn't mark. Still Carey. Smothered by Glenn Lovett. Taken by Martin Pike. Pike trying to centre the ball. Ingerson is there. Couldn't mark. Brett Lovett trying to get in a hand pass. Play on, calls the umpire. Johnny Longmire's got it. Here's Chandler. Chip get in short. Over the back, it should be a goal. Allison or Rock, who'll get there first. Allison off the ground. It's a goal, I think. Yes. You wouldn't believe it, would you, Gerard, after Melbourne have had all the play?
Well, that's the story of the afternoon, but boy, God, didn't Brett Ellison sum this up beautifully? Under pressure. It was amazing the ball actually got through to the goal screen.
How did Ingerson miss this?
I've got no idea. But here it comes, and Chandler just pokes it through. And all of a sudden, all players let it go. And even there, it could have been a smother. I don't think anybody expected Ellison to go off the ground or out of the air. Summed it up beautifully and converted it well.
Back in the middle. Steins had his eyes on McKernan. Didn't stop McKernan winning it. But Glenn Lovett gets out the hand pass to Uze on the run. Adam Uze at half forward. Oops, the hand pass not good for Obst. Carey back in defence. He's lost it. Simpson wrestles himself free. Schwass. North definitely being put under pressure, and yet they lead 68 to 32. Over centre wing, a desperate dive unsuccessful. Kept in by Seacamp. Viney. Kicked by Viney. Newton the only hope. Carey climbs over him. And the ball out of play, back near the 50. Well, Wayne Carey, I reckon he's playing at full forward, and here he is at half back.
Well, do you think he's still playing there, or is he?
I think he's changed with John Longmire at centre half back.
Yeah, I think he might have gone to centre half back. He's been down there for a while. Newton and Carey. He's still not putting both arms up. Uze put it on the ground. Glenn Lovett playing well. Obst. Woden inside 50. And again, they have blazed it wide and through for a behind.
Well, John Longmire's now gone into the ruck because Corey McKernan's having a rest down at full back. So a pretty good job by Anthony Ingerson on Carey today. We know that Carey's not back to his best just yet, but he's had the ball centred out and directed towards him for most of the afternoon, and Ingerson's been up to it.
10-8 plays 3:15. North lead.
At full stretch, Uze couldn't mark. Carey the hand pass to Schwass. Smothered. Ball still in. Neats. Free kick. Was he pushed in the back? Yes. Free kick to Neats. Right in front of the North fans who didn't like it.
It looked a bit soft, didn't it?
Well, it looked like it was a push in the side.
That's what I thought. But they haven't had everything go their way today, but so let's have a look. Oh, straight in the side.
Here's the kick by Neats. Schwartz underneath it. Charles going to the pocket. Ball still there. A kick to the goal square across the face of goal and out of bounds. Not sure how that ball was squeezed from there right across goal. Robert Pyman. 35 points the margin. North in front. And Melbourne with their handballs. They came good in the second quarter and 30-13 so far this term.
Carey against Newton. Carey gets a quick little kick, travelled about a metre. And a gang tackle there by the Melbourne players. Woden on the right, Pyman on the left. And getting up from the bottom there was Adam Simpson. So a bounce in front of the Melbourne goal. Gee, it seems to have been down inside that 50 just about all quarter.
Incredibly, Melbourne's kicked just 3 goals for the afternoon.
Well, there's Charles. David King, oh, beautiful pickup. Touch of class there. And a magnificent kick, a blind kick, and he finds John Longmire. Longmire to the half-forward line. McKernan is there, thumped away from him. Taken by Sean Smith. Todd Viney. Hopgood smothered off the boot. Too slow to get rid of it. Now Melbourne a chance. Woden out wide here. Steve Phoebe brings it up high towards half-forward, hoping someone can take a mark.
Free kick.
Umpire said no free kick. Taken away by David King. Smothered off the boot. No, it wasn't.
Well, Ben Archer had a clear grab of David Neats' jumper on that time.
Rock to centre wing, and he has found Johnny Longmire.
Thumping kick by the horse. McKernan. Down to Bell. Allison always dangerous. Open goal square. Kick by Allison is... Oh, you wouldn't believe it. It hit the post at about half a kilometre an hour.
And that chewing gum's getting a thrashing there from Dennis Pagan. 10-9 to 3:15. Steve Phoebe having a look at all his options. And he has found Todd Viney. Boy, is he getting plenty of the ball. He's had 12 kicks and 13 handballs. So that'll be now 13 and 13. Anthony Ingerson to Seacamp. Oh, this is a dangerous kick. It'll come off though. This looks like young Grigich there. It is. He's moving well, Gerard.
Yeah, looks a good player.
No relation to Ilya, who's currently with the West Coast, formerly with Footscray. Punch to the front to Steins. Newton is there. He's got a tough man to beat in Carey. He gave him a bit of a backhander, and the King's gone down. Hopgood goes wide. Pyman started on the bench and has been in a lot of the plays since he's been on. Charles. Newton just got rid of Carey. Now finds Brett Lovett. Lovett kick. Won't make it. Schwartz dives. Almost a slip catch. Wayne Carey still in the hands of the trainers. And young Newton stepped up a bit. Have a look at this.
Dropped that one.
Wayne Carey not seeing too clearly at the moment. Ball back out of play.
So another throw in.
That's the sort of thing Big Nick used to do about 30 times an afternoon, and they were all an accident.
Yes, the old teeth rattler. I reckon that one was an accident, but clearly it connected.
Carey going down the forward line now. Here's Woden. Archer used his body well. And they lock it in. There'll be a bounce 20 metres out from the Melbourne goal. It's been one of the finds for Melbourne. There's Carey. He's right now. He's going back to the back line. Very, very crowded down there. It'll be hard for Melbourne to score from just so many players around that ball. Schwartz out of the ruck contest, and then knocked it on. That was terrific play to Obst, who bends it back. Great play by Schwartz and Obst.
Well, finally Melbourne do get one through the big sticks. Schwartz, he's a great worker inside. He continually bustles and forces himself to the contest. He got that one clear. It was a smart little tap out, just once again showing us that he's continually thinking. Set Obst up, who was up to the challenge of the snap around the corner. Lee Newton may just ask Wayne Carey for his autograph while he's there. He's only been in the game 5 minutes. And he's being picked up by one of the champs.
Well, ruck infringement against Stynes, and the free kick goes to McKernan. That was Obst's 3rd goal for the season. Kick by McKernan, a huge pack, juggled, marked to Longmire. No play on. Well, I reckon John Longmire's got some claims. But there are a lot of hands up there groping for this.
He might have got first touch too, but a hard one, wasn't it, Jared?
Yeah, I think Jim Stynes would want to know why he wasn't penalised if it wasn't a mark for holding the ball.
Woden running into a brick wall. Now they have to defend grimly. 30 points the margin. Melbourne broke a bit of a drought with that goal by Obst. Gee, you know, if they could, let's say string three together, we might have a game in the last quarter.
Well, they've certainly had more of the play in this term. There's Scholl getting it down the ground. Oh, here's a chance for a goal to Bell. It's another one. Well, it just seems, Gerard, that when North go forward, they get an easy goal and Melbourne have to struggle.
Well, that's been the story, hasn't it, Pete? North Melbourne have just got more players on the ground that can get a goal when they've been given an opportunity. This is just a half chance. Melbourne have had a ton of half chances this afternoon and haven't been able to convert. They work through the middle of the ground and in defence has in general been pretty good. But they haven't been able to just peg them back enough.
Well, Peter Bell with that snap from right in front. Totally different goal from his first one, which would be a candidate for goal of the year, the run around the boundary line. Stynes wins. Clarkson dispossessed. Carey playing in defence. Roberts. Big day for Roberts. Gets it back. Inside the 50 to McKernan, who really stretched the hammies to get to that mark. Short to Longmire in the pocket. It's cruel when you've got Carey at half-back and the likes of McKernan and Longmire on the forward line. Johnny Longmire missed out on the premiership last year and had tears in his eyes when his club mates were presented with the Premiership Cup, and he missed out because of a knee reconstruction. Back to Carey, who's drifted up from half-back. Look at those three. That is cruel when those three are getting the ball inside 50. Longmire offers a lead in short again. Carey's going to go for a long bomb. We're right behind it. Has it got the distance? Oh, what a goal! That is perfection.
And it's also a salutary lesson to Lee Newton, who followed Wayne Carey down from centre-half forward, Melbourne centre-half forward position, and then just slackened off a little bit and gave him 5 yards latitude. John Longmire picked him out and a goal results. Wayne Carey playing at centre-half back, floated down and kicked his second.
So just when Melbourne looked like getting back in it, North have kicked 2 quick ones. McKernan and Stynes. Riggich is there, and the umpire, I'm sure, will bounce this. Robert Scott comes up with the ball. Umpire Andrew Coates. So getting close to 3/4 time. Stynes again. Well, they all miss it. Socked away by McKernan. Oh, danger here because Allison's got it. A little chip pass down towards Longmire. He latches onto it. He's going to come around and have a snapshot. Brings it back, and the mark has been taken by Shane Woden.
Hasn't had enough time on the forward line lately. Wasn't sure what to do. Shane Woden towards the outer side. Simpson in front. Stynes a climb over him. Uze. Over the wing. Neats just underneath the ball. Schwass to Carey. Carey, what a kick to Longmire. That is pinpoint over 50 metres.
McKernan.
Scholl in the goal square. Longmire sets it up. Good punch by Sean Smith, but hasn't cleared the 50. Freeborn, back he goes to Chandler. Up and under, well short. Another punch by Smith to Glenn Lovett. Intercept by Simpson. Shot for goal by Freeborn. Missed it.
There's Glenn Freeborn. Very close to three-quarter time. Melbourne have been valiant in this term. They've had lots of the play, just couldn't capitalise. And there's Greg Hutchison.
And Mark Ells on his right-hand shoulder there, the brother of Stan Ells, the coach of St Kilda.
No time for Melbourne to score. Ingerson is marked in the back pocket. Got to be able to capitalise when you go forward, and Melbourne have gone forward time and time again, just haven't put the score on the board. The siren sounds for three-quarter time, where North Melbourne just a little bit more dangerous in attack, Gerard.
North Melbourne going into the last term with a comfortable 43-point lead. In such a tight competition, they'd want to finish off and get a percentage booster here against the Demons, who've managed just 4 goals for the game. McKernan out of the middle, Scott further, but Uze for Melbourne. Carey now at centre halfback, kicked a goal in the third quarter from that defensive post. Wide to Roberts, inside the 50 already. Scholl, good punch away by Seacamp. And the ball to the boundary line. Brett Chandler, who's been good for North. Another one of the former Fitzroy players. He's found a new home.
Just inside 50 for North Woden. The two number 22s, in fact. Roberts won it. Glenn Lovett, taken by Chandler. A quick kick at goal, and it is, or was it Robert Scott? It may have been. It was Scott, I think. Robert Scott, a quick goal out of the pack, and very difficult for Melbourne now.
Yes, extremely difficult, I'd say, Pete, but we haven't seen a start like this since the opening term when North Melbourne rattled on a couple of quick goals, but, well, off one step, why not go for the torpedo? And it sailed straight through the middle.
Robert Scott, 2 goals for that. Ball back in the centre. 88-39. Well, Newton on the ball, and he beat McKernan. Allison to King. Just evades the high tackle, and away he goes. Sean Smith. Amazing that he's still on his feet. He's still fit in the last quarter. Charles front on charge by Stevens. And Sean Charles stood his ground pretty well. The kick. Newton got underneath it. Martin, Simpson. Back to centre wing. Seacamp with Scholl. A one-hander by Marcus Seacamp.
Terrific mark. Here's Paul Hopgood. Chipping it wide and just finds his man, Brett Lovett. Lovett way out on centre wing. Bring it in towards centre half forward. McKernan's going to fly from the back. Hyman, Todd Viney can't get a hand pass in. Bell kicks it away and the umpire will come in and bounce. So at the 50-metre line, and Melbourne have had it down there time and time again today, but haven't been able to capitalise. They kicked 4-15. McKernan, well, it's a big thump towards the Melbourne goal. Steins at the back. Todd Viney kicks. Oh, yes, good goal. He's played a great game.
Another great workmanlike performance by Todd Viney, and that's his alma mater, if you like. He just continues to work, and here we see him getting the benefit of that great work ethic. Got one out of the air. And if there's one thing you'd say about Todd Viney, he just is a machine. Continues to keep going and going. He did well.
And the hit out by Schwartz really tested his knee. He flew through the air. Did it beautifully. Now Glenn Lovett. Demons go forward again, but they've gone very wide. Neats. Pyman. And just over the line.
Is that McKernan down, Gerard?
He hobbled after that last ruck contest. He's had some problems with his legs over the last, well, ever since that clash in the preliminary final.
Let's hope it's not a knee injury. So we're on centre wing, or almost at half forward for Melbourne. We'll keep an eye on McKernan. He's limping behind the play. That doesn't look too good.
Yes, remember all the conjecture the week of grand final time. Would he play, would he not?
So Newton was flying, or was Schwartz in fact coming over the back, or smothered from Anthony Stevens, grabbed by Woden. They go forward again. Ops makes a contest of it. Good play, Andrew Ops. Then he locks it in, and it will be a bounce just inside 50. 13-10 North, 5-15 Melbourne. Carey playing in defence at the moment. There's Mickey Martin wearing David Schwartz like a glove. Mark Roberts did the ruck work, grabs it and kicks it quickly to centre wing. It was touched off the boot actually. The umpire called play on. Sean Smith looking for Uze, and over the line it goes in front of the Melbourne members.
Interesting new goatee beard there for Sean Smith.
He takes it off after the match.
Without a razor. Freeborn. Well, there's Sean Smith just throwing himself at the ball. He can do it in the air and on the ground. Terrific second stint at AFL football after a spell in the VFA in the middle.
Well, he came back and took mark of the century, didn't he, up at the Gabba? The mark that will go down in the history of the game.
Woden dispossessed. Uze. Plenty of distance with that. Pyman. He's got Schwartz there with him. Pyman, a good tackle on Martin. Brett Lovett has it. No distance. Knocked on by Schwartz and now out by King. The Melbourne members want deliberate. Some of them nearly chewed the ends off their pipes.
23, just over 23,000 here. Not a huge crowd. Carey. Over the back was Pyman with a two-fisted punch. This is where the forwards should be in front. Good tackle by Grigic. Here's a chance. Brett Lovett. Oh, he should have kicked it. Now he does on the right. Should have kicked it on the left. His first thought. He thought about the handball and then he missed it. And that's typical of Melbourne's day.
Well, Barry Richardson there and Greg Hutchison with Mark Elves just, well, I think they all expected him to kick it on his left.
Pete, there might be a quid in goal kicking practice.
Well,
he might get down there.
That was just a change of mind that cost them, wasn't it? Really, the kick in, and has been taken by Simpson, Adam Simpson, the halfback.
Might be a job
have they got enough money there to pay for me? Drew.
Well, Joe, you're kidding. They got plenty.
Allison at centre wing. Oh, he's kicked it straight there. Oh no, Glenn Lovett underneath it, over the back. Marcus Seacamp dodging, weaving, good play. And he brings it in towards half forward. Neats. Oh, courage shown by little Peter Bell. What a great mark as he gives it to Carey.
Carey, half back to half forward. Mellington hasn't seen much action. He is a one-touch marker of the ball. Kicked by Mellington inside the 50. I'm not sure who he aimed that for. Straight on Uze's chest. Good run out of defence by Stephen Phoebe. That wasn't a great kick either. Made it tough for Neats. Clarkson to Newton. Steins. No mark. Two number 11s. Archer's all over him. Jimmy Steins, probably by tonight he'll feel as though he's been playing for 35 years in a row, not 10.
Steins, Swass caught and had no chance of getting rid of it. The umpire will bounce it. Wayne Swass starting to come back into a little bit of form. Well, no, he's at 7-4 the interchange. Charles coming off, and coming on is O'Brien from Melbourne. Darren O'Brien. McKernan looks as though he might have come good with that leg. Glenn Archer and Obst will hand it back.
He has been in the wars. It was about this time in the game last week when he got concussion and had to go off. He came back on for about the last 5 minutes and made a million mistakes.
Now, umpire Andrew Coates telling the players to get out of the way so as he can bounce the ball. Steins and McKernan. Archer flew over the back. Here he comes, the racehorse. Oh, he went without it that time. Now he's got it again, David King. And he's flattened as he kicked it. And he puts it over the boundary line.
Well, he ran 40 metres in a circle and kicked it sideways. Didn't gain an inch. And Schwartz gets it out of there. Stevens. Anderson, last-minute replacement for Blakey in the side. To Bell. To half forward. Melbourne players lead the race. Seacamp, he's got Newton. Here goes Burt. To Smith. And the short pass to Uze just inside the line. He's crunched by Stevens and he'll get the free kick.
So Adam Uze way out on centre wing. And he should be moving this ball quickly. You see got crunched across the head. Very slow to get rid of it here. Play on calls the umpire, so he bends it back. And that was very, very ordinary play, I thought, by Uze. As he hooked it back to the boundary line, straight to Archer, and should have been getting it going quickly down the centre corridor. Uze almost a good mark. Simpson's caught, no chance of getting rid of it, and the umpire will bounce.
North led by 12 points at quarter time, 34 at half time, and 43 points at three-quarter time. Margin is 42. So at the moment, the Demons are winning this last quarter by a point. Anderson comes off for North. Rock back on. Hobbs kick smothered. Viney another hand pass. Rock. Archer. Crunch down.
Well, still nice and willing, despite the result of the game being beyond doubt. Glenn Archer just going through there like his life depended on it. May well have come up with a cork thigh for his trouble.
Yes, you get in his road at your own peril. Uze lost it. Rock. McKernan, good hands. Great play, Corey McKernan. Roberts camped underneath it. Stevens kicks into the belly of Woden. Shane Woden coming up wearing a Sharon.
This time it's inside Melbourne, North Melbourne's 50 metres. Kernan and Steins, Roberts. Woden did the ruck work. Uze couldn't get his boot to it. Anthony Stevens did well. McKernan, Roberts. Mark Roberts bends it back. No mark to Longmire. Peter Bell playing the ball. He's still got it, the little fella. And the umpire, no doubt. And he's calling play on. Sean Smith. Oh, danger. Here's a chance. Glenn Freeborn's going to bend it back. Oh, reading it well was O'Brien. Onto Obst. Further afield, Alistair Clarkson.
That was good the umpire let that go, just to see who would win the arm wrestle. Woden at half-back for the D's. Just under 10 minutes remaining, midway through the last quarter. 42 points the margin. Woden's kick, Neats outer wing. He's got Obst peeling past. Nobody picking up Andrew Obst. 60 metres out. And a good lead by the youngster Grigic. 17 years of age. He was the Demons' first pick in last year's national draft, came from the Geelong Falcons. Can he get his first goal in the AFL? Not a bad kick, that's a beauty.
And who knows, that may well be the first of many, many hundreds, because he does look like a player that could fill full forward. But
yes, I like the way he's moved. He's only a young kid, 17. You know, when you think of yourself at 17, Jared, you know, you're just young and innocent. And I don't know if you'd had your first kiss by then.
no, I'm still waiting for that.
Actually, I did him a disservice. It's his second goal in league footy.
So back to the centre. Beautiful kicker by Spike Boogie. So a good smother by Glenn Lovett. He's tried very, very hard. Then he grabs it in. And the umpire will bounce it again.
Glenn Archer's come off the ground, and it's important, I guess, for North Melbourne, because they have a very big game next week against the Blues. Crocker's come on, and he will no doubt have either a cork thigh or a corked, well, something. Anyway, he's got a problem down there on the leg.
Steins and Schwartz charging his way through the pack. Brett Lovett, a quick little kick. Allison latches onto it. Chandler gives it to Bell. On the McKernan. On the long mile, he's gone. Gets in a hand pass. Bell again. Races in the goal, the little fella. It's another one to North. Brilliant play that was. They just kept at it.
Well, Peter Bell has been one of these success stories of the AFL. He was a product of the draft. He started his career with the Dockers, and North Melbourne picked him up with a late draft pick a couple of years ago. All of a sudden, he's a premiership player. And, well, he's shown today that around goals, he's a brilliant finisher. He kicked one of the goals of the year in the second term, and that was just a spearing goal. Pretty smart pickup. He'd be happy to pick up a few of those each year, Pete.
One of the great little moments there was Sean Smith couldn't quite stop Longmire with a tackle. Longmire got the hand pass out, and after Bell kicked the goal, Smith tapped Longmire on the rump. They used to be teammates at North Melbourne.
Well, when he tapped him on the rump, did he say giddy up?
Don't mess with a horse. 94-52. 7-goal margin. It was about that at three-quarter time. 7.5 minutes left in the game. McKernan, Longmire, Scott. Gee, solid work by Simpson. Here's Paul Hopgood. Very high. Hospital ball for Viney. Well done, Woden to Hopgood. Good vision. Oh, Phoebe's kick smothered. Well done, Stevens. Now Chandler. Mellington, good hand pass. Robert Scott for the goal. It's close, but offline. Scott, 2 goals, 3.
Well, that handball up in the air from Shane Woden is the hospital handball. They just take too long to come down. You just don't get away with those handballs these days in football, because there's too much defensive pressure, and those sort of turnovers generally cost you. It was probably just Scott not knowing that he had as much time as he did.
The kick in, Steins and Woden. He read that well, Shane Woden. Drives it with that left foot to another left footer in Uze, who's got to start moving the ball quickly.
A few of the Melbourne fans starting to leave, probably driving up to Mount Buller.
Neats underneath it.
That's a bit harsh.
Still smoking the pipes too, Drew, as we see Ops go down towards full forward. Newton. Shoulders down there. Bell. Oh, tapped away to Pike. That was good play by the refrigerator, Mark Roberts. Pike racing down the centre wing, goes for a little chip pass to Allison. On to Wayne Schwass, that's always danger. Schwass with a long kick, looking out here for Rock. What a brilliant mark taken by Adam Uze in front of him.
Sensational mark.
Oh, well, that Uze's class and courage.
Geez, you are informed.
Seacamp gets a wide lead from Glenn Lovett. Right half back for the D's. In he goes to Uze. His eyes would be still spinning. Good kick. Obst. Pretty open forward line. Movement everywhere. Newton gets underneath it. Grigich couldn't trap. Pike. Chandler. Ex-Fitzroy teammates combining. Chandler's kick to centre half forward. Well done, Ingerson. Mellington got a little touch. That was good. The hand pass out to Longmire. Open goal here. Rock. He just about looked back and taunted them and said, catch me if you can. Well, they haven't smiled like this for a month, North Melbourne.
They're going to enjoy Sunday night for the first time for some time, as you said, Drew. And good sharing of the football there. Got Rock into open space, and he knew how much time he had. As Grigich comes off the ground, and he's being replaced by Robert Pine.
Steins and McKernan. Steins tries to flick it over the back. North Littlemen swoop in. Whoa! Hip and shoulder by Schwartz on Rock, and the umpire's free kicked him. Well, he got him in the head with the hip and shoulder. I don't think Schwartz very impressed with that. Well, the replay showed it was with the shoulder. Big punch away. Sean Smith over the back. Allison. Simpson. Mickey Martin's up in the middle of the ground with the roars of delight from the North Melbourne supporters. Grabbed by Crocker. McKernan from the set shot. Goes bang and puts it through.
Well, we're just going through the motions now, but for North Melbourne, these could be important minutes in their season, because they've just kicked a couple of goals, and if they can just slam on another 2 or 3, if Melbourne just happen to fall away, which they haven't done in a work sense as anyway today, but if they do happen to fall away and North can continue to slam them on, well, their percentage will get a very healthy boost.
Yes, especially with Melbourne kicking such a low score.
Yep.
That's potential for a percentage boost to the winner. Eventually, Clarkson, inside 50. Mick Martin, good mark. I think the crowd want him to get up there and kick a goal. Across to Carey. Pretty open now. Rock, good kick to Longmire. 75 metres from goal. Mellington a lead. Crocker stays at the back. Longmire goes long, or tried to, didn't really get onto it. And Sean Smith takes the mark.
Off he goes. Hopgood. Glenn Lovett. Oh, he's in trouble. Uze, you're gone too. Robert Scott on the left. Bends it back. Courage is needed, and Sean Smith's got plenty of that. He transfers. Play dangerous. Oh, it's a loose ball. They had support down there, Melbourne. Clarkson to Glenn Lovett. Seacamp. They've got the loose man going here with Steins. Now, what's Jimmy going to do here? He's coming down the middle. And then he bends it back to a North Melbourne player there in Roberts. Oh, that's not good play.
He kicks round corners a lot.
Yep. And that gets him in trouble at times. Pike. Now towards the half-forward line. Free kick to Melbourne, I feel.
Yeah, it was against Mellington. He gave Sean Smith an almighty push in the back. He nearly got a strike, actually, because he cannoned into Darren Crocker.
Now the Demons working it down the outer side. O'Brien. Well, here's a man 50 metres in the clear. Woden.
Mellington off.
Approaching the 50. High ball. Neitz is there. Punch by Martin. Straight to Jimmy, who gets a goal. Happy 10th anniversary, Jim Steins.
Well, it was set up for Jimmy, this one, because he had to kick it around the corner, and he's had a bit of practice at that over the 10 years. But it was a good transference of play, and I just wonder whether Anthony Mellington was taken off the ground because of that free kick. Crocker was in the set position, and in effect, it's going to impact on their percentage because it was 1 goal away from them and 1 goal to Melbourne, and that may well have an impact.
Melbourne still battling hard. North have been too good. Newton and McKernan. McKernan won it. Chandler. Simpson. Quick kick down towards Smith, who plays well in defence. Oh, good play. Dashing play by Sean Smith. And he drives it to half forward. A nicely judged mark down here by David King.
Must be a good gash on Smith's chin because the blood looks to be seeping through the bandages.
Carey kicks it a mile to McKernan. Well done, Ingerson.
Been one of Melbourne's best.
And another man a long way in the clear, Todd Viney. Jimmy Steins in short. Oh, poor old kick. Newton, O'Brien. That ball just sat up for Scholl. Scholl back to centre wing. Ingerson again. Let's have a look at Anthony Ingerson. 7 marks and coming up for 13 disposals. Clarkson. Too slow. Swamped. 3 of them got him. McKernan to Roberts. Oh, good kick. Mellington. Anderson.
He's had a great game, Mark Roberts. A little bit quieter in the second half than the first, but he set up this win for North Melbourne with a brilliant first half. And that was a pretty good pass, wasn't it?
Beauty. Most of the day on the bench. Last minute inclusion in the side, Stuart Anderson. Need to kick from 51 metres. Hooked it behind.
They're under the minute to go now. North will be relieved to get away with this one. Melbourne, for the rest of the season, will be regarded as a danger game. Collingwood have got them next week. It's a must-win for the Magpies. Oh, Ingerson's kicked into the man. Allison races in the goal and chips it through for another one. So Brett Allison has kicked 2 and Anthony Ingerson holds his head. He's not happy with himself. The margin's almost 10 goals now.
Well, we won't focus on it too much because he's had a darn good game, Anthony Ingerson, and he's let himself down here, and it's cost Melbourne a goal. But his attack on the footy today has been first class.
I agree, Jerry.
But it just probably exemplifies Melbourne's tendency to still go shortish. They've overused the footy a little bit, and even when players are running full chest to the goals, they tend to look for a short option rather than going for the long option.
Clarkson on the phone, Newton on the ball, and Steins at full forward. Here's Newton to the 50. Pike all over Hopgood. He made it tough for him. Mick Martin comes into assist, and Pike gets Hopgood again. Martin's kick over the wing. Woden from behind. Ball held in. The umpire will ball it up.
And as a collective unit, you'd have to say North Melbourne's defence has been pretty good. Melbourne's had plenty of ball down there, but the likes of Pike and Mickey Martin, of course, and David King, all done pretty well.
Yes, and
Wayne Swass, another player that's done particularly well today.
Dennis Pagan's been able to switch a lot of players around and get some versatility in the side.
It's a strange game, isn't it? We've got the game's best centre-half forward playing at centre-half back, and one of the game's best centre-half backs playing at centre-half forward in David Meads.
There's the throw-in. There's the siren. And North Melbourne are back in town. The Premiers, having lost 3 in a row, have bounced back against Melbourne and have won by plenty.
46. 56.
Well, Johnny Longmire won't get another tap on the rump from a former teammate.
Well, it sets it up for a huge game next week here at the MCG, where the Blues take on the Roos. And the winner of that game, you'd reckon is going to be still in the competition come September. The loser well, they may just about drop out. But a very entertaining game here for North Melbourne supporters. Melbourne people, I think, will go away knowing that their side worked hard. They didn't throw the towel in, but they just couldn't convert up in the forward line when they had the opportunities. But Dennis Pagan, he'll be pleased with the effort by North Melbourne, but know that they will have to play better to get over the Blues next week.
Yes, a 56-point win to North Melbourne. And Melbourne, after kicking 18 goals last week against Carlton and having their third win for the year, kicked 7-16 today. Crocs everywhere. Well, Glenn Archer, he mightn't be right for the Carlton game. A real distinct limp as he goes off there.
Yes, it doesn't look too good.
Well, it could either be a corky or even a little problem with the knee, but you'd reckon the way he's walking it'd be more likely a corky. We saw him get injured going through a pack, probably a bruise. So he'll spend the night wrapped up in ice.
So, first celebrations for a month for the Kangaroos, last year's premiers, as they've defeated Melbourne 17-12 to 7-16.